shout, oh yeah, yeah. Mayegun don't come, oh yeah, yeah. Mayegun the command of the masses, oh yeah, yeah. Mayegun don't come, oh yeah, yeah. Mayegun they are the political, oh yeah, yeah. Mayegun don't come, oh yeah, yeah. This one not they off in mind, oh yeah, yeah. Mayegun don't come, oh yeah, yeah. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he dey hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, Mayegun don't come. So my people make you laugh. Oh yeah, yeah. Mayegun don't come. Oh yeah, yeah. My people make you shout. Oh yeah, yeah. Mayegun don't come. Oh yeah, yeah. Man of the masses, yeah, yeah. Mayegun don't come, oh yeah, yeah. Mayegun diary political, oh yeah, yeah.
Hello there.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀, làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Mayegun today, oh, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Thank you very much. Share this broadcast. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them that Mayegun today. Read the caption of this broadcast, read the description as well, and share it if you haven't already. The bandits or the terrorists are back with full force.
Godfatherism, Mayegun diary.
134 human beings, including women and children, have been slaughtered by the Fulani terrorists in Benue alone in the last 5 days. In Kaduna, just a few days ago, 10 school children were kidnapped by the Fulani terrorists. And just yesterday, 80 children were kidnapped in Zamfara alone. Today, 38 people, including children and women, were slaughtered at the IDP camp in a school where those who survived the Fulani terrorism in Benue State in the past have become refugees in their own states. Now, in the school where they are all living as refugees, the terrorists attacked today and they killed 38. Thank you. Good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun, your GO of the Temple of Truth. Good evening. Now, we might have been so carried away, or should I say, the top news in Nigeria is about propaganda on how to demarket Obi, and at the same time, to gaslight the young people all about the 2023 charade. But while that's going on, what brought about the division in Nigeria, the terrorism brought about by APC, Egbekegbe, that somehow just subsided a little bit, kind of a calmer during the election campaign as well as the election proper, is back. Very, very back. And I think before you be the next victim, before you be the next person they are going to probably take, it is ideal to call your attention to some certain things that are still in front of you. Fight for your stolen mandate. To the return certificate of return should be returned. Face that. But there are more. In fact, maybe there should be more reason why to fight and fight to the last. Okay, depends on what you call fight. Do you know that from next month, May 2023, the government of Bukwari, they are going to remove subsidy on your petrol? Do you know that? And do you also know that once that is done, you can wake up anytime in May and a liter of petrol will be over 500 naira per liter, the cheapest. Do you know that? You don't? Okay. Do you know that your government, the government of Bukwari, they have approached World Bank to take a loan of $800 million. They took that loan specifically to cushion the effects of removal of subsidy next month. So they believe that with $800 million shared to 50 million Nigerians, the rest of you will be fine. That's the deal. They have already taken the loan as you are watching this video. Okay? So you should be on a lookout in case if you are one of the 50 million that will receive part of that $800 million loan. But what that simply means is that you would have to pay this for the next 60, 70 years. Also, do you know that it's just 45 days to go for this man to release your Nigeria here in the cap of this guy who is also Bukwari's special advisor on Twitter and then Instagram matter, Tolu Ogunlesi. In 45 days time, this man that designed this logo on this cap in Bahrain with 478,000 US dollars, just that logo, almost 3 years ago. In 45 days time, you should be asking this man, where are your planes? Or where are the $21 billion spent on Nigeria Air? This is another Bukwari special advisor, presidential advisor. Bashiru is also special advisor to Bukwari, tweeting fake photo. And this was almost 3 years now. You probably will need to ask them in 45 days time. I thought I should remind you. Also, you have been following the Labour Party takeover, the drama. I have something for you on that. You see the guy on the right, is supposed to be a Labour Party secretary or chairman in Ogun State, Arabambi. So in these 2023 elections, right, when Dapo gave them enough money, they publicly endorsed him for second term, even when Peter Obi is their presidential candidate. Now, these same guys are those who have instituted a case, right, that is about to remove the leadership of a Labour Party and then truncate Obi's case as it is currently ongoing. I will take you to that part today. Actor Yemi Sholade, Abi, you know him? The man went on Instagram yesterday or thereabouts, and he said, to survive in Nigeria, you must belong to a cult with squeezed face, and he said depression is real. He's an actor, and we wish him well too. All of this that I'm sharing with you, they are just side news. Now you're supposed to speak the one that somehow will catch your interests. But you know, in Benue, no matter what you are going through right now, just have it, have it at the front of your mind. Don't put it at the back of your mind this time. That children and women are being slaughtered again across the middle belt part of Nigeria, straight down to the heart of the caliphate. Fulani and Hausas, they started their own fights. In Sokoto today, one community there, a Fulani man fighting an Hausa man, stabbed an Hausa man, he is bleeding, he's not dead. They decided to stab him back as well. They said he has Odeishi. Odeishi bawo, he must carry wound, he must carry wound. That's how they cut off his head though. When they cut off this Fulani man's head, the community should face me, I face you now. Before you know it, the body don't full both sides. In Sokoto, in all of this. So no wonder when they gave Obasanjo a mic just recently, and he was talking about how divided Nigeria is. A good work of Bukwari and his gang. The same good work that is going to continue. Normally when you have a new leader, president-elect in the waiting, it will be trying to make the entire country feel like, whatever you are going through right now is just temporary. Once I get in, I will take care of that. I will unite you. I will give you succor. I will protect you. All this stuff, don't worry. For now, just endure. Something that gives you, like you look forward to something. But because now from one dead body to another, dead body gets the accident. Double wahala for dead body, and the owners of dead body, double wahala for dead body. The dead bodies, Bokwari and Kolu, they are both now, they are supposed to be presidents of Nigeria. All this death that you are seeing right now, you would expect people to kind of have their leaders at the front of it, trying to get things all right. Sure. Nobody sees Bokwari, nobody will see him. Kolu, the one that is going to be the Pro Max, nobody is going to hear from him. Nobody is going to see from him. Rather, his own attack dogs, they are now walking over time, like the devil that will never sleep. They are walking over time in ensuring that Nigeria finally collapse. Amen. Amen, somebody? So Obasanjo just said Nigeria has never been this divided. Symphony. Thanks for this clip, okay? The credit for this clip goes to the Symphony. You can see more on their YouTube. Let's borrow this. That's where we're going to start from tonight. Divided Nigeria by the same people that destroyed Nigeria. Let me tell you something before I get into that. Hypocrisy is one of the reasons why a lot of you right, would never understand the Nigerians generally. You know the hypocrisy, right? They can act cold and warm and lukewarm at the same time. Sure, you get. If all of you who have been lashing at Confessor Wole Soyinka, those of you have been lashing at him, and he's calling you fascist, Abi. Some people are saying that Abba, legend. You are, all of you are just, you are dragging legend. Don't you have heard that 88 years old man? Why, what is wrong with all of you, these people? Oh, Monko, the Agbado boys that will defend Wole Soyinka, they are the same Agbado boys that will call Obasanjo, who is also a Yoruba. It got to a stage that they are promoting, they are, repeatedly promoting their usual divisive tribal politics. Okay, if you don't agree with them, then obviously you are not Yoruba. Obasanjo is propagandally promoted as a suspicion that in Papa no be Yoruba. In Papa, in Mama no be Yoruba. From the people of Iraq, we don't know in Papa no in Mama. Over time, they've been promoting that. All because they wanted to say Obasanjo no be Yoruba. We are the Yoruba of our lower. Sure you get. And then they turned Yorubas to Alumajiri, beggars, hungry, poor beggars, so that they can keep giving them food and all that. Anyway, if you abuse Obasanjo, the Agbado boys, they will agree with you. They will say, it's true, Jare, he's a useless man. But if you open your mouth and say, call you Atole Ayagbesara, are you not a Yoruba? Omuale, you are Omuale. How can you call you like that? Yeah, he's not old enough to be your Baba's Luri Brukuni, Abusi, hypocrisy. It can work on the older generation. Look at the new generation. Look at this younger generation. Have you not noticed? Have you not noticed the disconnection? If you want to see the mumu that want to keep pretending that they are actually like believe all that nonsense, have you not seen the new generation? Have you not seen them? They don't believe in your hypocrisy and lies, okay? Anyway, Obasanjo Obankparo is confessing that in his lifetime, he has never seen Nigeria this divided. Let's start from there.
PhD at the age of 70, for some of us who don't have the PhD yet. 80, sorry.
Please be seated. Patrick, thank you very much for reviewing my book in 2014 and for, of course, inviting me here today and for trying to reduce my age. Because I got my PhD at the age of 80. I don't know. And you reduce it to the age of 70. When I came here this morning, and I couldn't jump out of the car the way I used to jump out of the car, I said to Ambassador Igali, I said, it appears I'm growing old. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is simply a significant duty for me to be here in order to be able to fulfill my commitment to a sacred intergenerational responsibility. Between me and Tunji, sit down. because I don't want trouble with your weight. There is an entire generational span which significance can be properly understood in terms of the value that mentorship can add to the understanding of how the public service can serve as the backbone of the emergence of a developmental state in Nigeria. Antunji has been courageously forging ahead as an expert insider bureaucrat through the trenches of sustained administrative reforms of the Nigerian state since 1988, and most especially between 1999 and 2007, is the admixture of precise diagnosis of Nigeria's administrative predicament and the meticulous analysis of what needs to be done. I am particularly attentive to the productivity paradigm that underlies the imperative of performance management. The workforce need to become efficient. And lastly, no one can miss the abundant and patriotic optimism that flows from the entire memoir. Faith in the omnipotent power of God and hope that Nigeria can indeed be transformed. Let me digress a little bit here. Part of transformation that the chairman of this occasion didn't mention was what he and I undertook to transform the militants in the Niger Delta. And it caused me some anxiety, because I will send him to the boys, I call them naughty boys, in the creeks, and I will expect him to be back at 3 or 4 o'clock. He will not be back, and I will not hear from him. Then he will probably be back at 8 p.m. or even sometime the following day. And I will say what happened. That he was arrested and he was told to go to Obasanjo and bring money. And he will say Obasanjo has no money. And then they will say you will be being here until Obasanjo can send us money. And Obasanjo will not send money. And after they have abused him, at times even beat him up, then they will go back, they will say go back to Obasanjo and tell him that he should send us money. Of course, we started the process of reforming them, and to some extent, we even achieved some success. Let me come back to Tunji. Let me suggest 3 ideas that I think can enrich the direction of the conversation here today. 1, given what we saw during the elections, Nigeria is now even more divided and more corroded than we thought. This places a deep onus on any administration following the current one to urgently facilitate the process of national moral rearmament and national reconciliation that the potential to enhance healing for aggrieved and bereaved persons across Nigeria and to assuage the youth. This must be done in sync with the imperative of national value reorientation that Nigeria requires to build a collective sense of enduring and noble values and national belonging. 2, governance in Nigeria now calls for thinking outside the box in terms of development financing. These have become inevitable in the face of Nigeria's dwindling fortune in oil revenue, Nigeria's huge foreign indebtedness, and the urgency of diversifying Nigeria's monocultural economy. We cannot be spending like drunken sailors on frivolities and corruption and expect development and growth. Such situation.
Yada, 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 yada. So that's him trying to advise whoever is going to come after Bukwari to do something to assuage and appease the youth, build a national reorientation, cohesion, and rehabilitation. Here you get all those fancy words, okay? Trying to make it look like, because if a revolution starts in Nigeria, a real one, no be we no go agree kind of real revolution. The first losers will be the likes of Obasanjo and everything they've taken from Nigeria. Their friends, their family, their business associates, local and international, they are the first losers. Because around that time, it's going to be a free fall. Here you get a free for all. So their likes, in a way, they will be walking behind the scene as well, okay, to find an alternative way to avoid any wahala. And that's why now they're like saying, okay, you should do this for the youth. Come on. It seems that not all of them actually understands where this is going to end, in my own opinion. Because supposedly the president-elect Kolu Tifnumbu, that should possibly be doing something, even APC, still in power, to be doing something that will seem different to what people actually saw and rejected them for, and they kill people for. Well, it's like they are doubling down. They don't give a damn. People are being slaughtered on a daily basis. People are being kidnapped on a daily basis. This is now more or less like a total jungle. That's what Nigeria is. So, then above it all, right? They now rigged another sick man that would disappear on the rest of you in the face of all this madness. Rather than them to take responsibility, they will be what? They will be hunting you down. I mean, they will be hunting all of you down. Those of you who are the citizens, whoever speaks up. But let me give you a promise. If all of their plan finally works, and they push Kolu to become your president next month, okay, the first set of people that will receive Kolu's media and government attack, they will be Bukwari's government. You can take that to the bank. Because it will just be like a switch of a hand clock when they will begin to say Bukwari failed in fighting terrorism. Now, do you want Tifnumbu to come and fight it overnight, Abi? Have you seen the escalation now? It is escalating. But guess what? Even the person still in charge is nowhere to be found. And he just told people, he said, I gave them the order to track down all the killers. They killed people in their villages. Those who survived, they ended up in refugee camps. They are not provided security. As much as they have been abandoned, the government of Nigeria, of Bukwari, they continue to budget money. Or should I say, they continue to come to the public and say, we are spending so amount of money on refugees, on this. But these people are living in schools. They are living in abandoned buildings, abandoned houses. That's where they are staying, with women and children, while others are just cashing out in their names. Now, terrorists have to walk down there easily, and they said it was complete bloodbath. What kind of heartlessness, what kind of cold-heartedness will make you have to do that to people so vulnerable, running away from you in a space that they considered safe? And just like that, 38 of them dead. 154 of them sustained different injuries, including machete injuries, which means these people are just there exposed on their own. Do you remember when I said that a lot of you, one of the damages that Nigeria sort of have done, or APC have done to the psyche of an average Nigerian, okay, is the destruction of the empathy feeling, the humanity in a lot of people. When people hear about, like in 2014, 2015, yeah, every time we hear stories like, oh, bomb blast killed 23, it would just be like the whole country is like mourning. Do you get that? Everybody will be talking about, man, is Nigeria turning to Afghanistan? So by 2014, the terrorists, with the help of the Nigerian military, the northern politicians, including the current vice president-elect, Kashim Shettima, they pulled the biggest kidnapping scheme that even the whole world have to respond. They pulled that off, and they pulled down the government of that time. Do you remember that anyway? And people were so alarmed. How is that even possible? How could they even move 280? Man, they will need, some people were doing maths. They are doing mathematics. You are going to need 200 18-seater buses. You are going to need 100. Calm down. This is a coordinated, sponsored kidnapping. They will use the lives of children to play politics, political power. So they move these children, house them in different politicians' houses in Borno. Then after that, they move them again. While they were moving them here and there, a lot of them died. But when they got power, they just left the rest of the girls. They just left them with the terrorists to marry them off, because they've gotten what they wanted. But people were so alarmed. People were crying. 280 children. How is that even possible? How did they move undetected? Then they released the video of the children that killed it. This is impossible. There is no government in Nigeria. Jonathan is a complete failure. He was the most hated man alive. His wife, people who entered him, they entered his wife. They carried Jonathan's casket. They carried Jonathan's casket in Nigeria. They stoned him, sitting president. They stoned him in northern Nigeria, because we just couldn't believe it. Like, is this Nigeria? How is this even possible? But do you know what happened after? Dapchi happened. Kajuru happened. Kankara happened. College of Technology or so, Kaduna happened. Massive school kidnappings took place under these criminals, to the point that the people no longer feel alarmed anymore. See, now I said they kidnapped 80 people. Some people are just like, not even like, wow, like, oh my God, 80 children between the ages of 12 and 17. Oh my God, What's going to be happening to them right now? Who is even looking for them? What's going on? They killed the sympathy and empathy in people. They destroyed that successfully. Only few people. To the point that even when people begin to show empathy, some will begin to feel like maybe they are faking it. Granny, see, you don't need to worry yourself this much, Jare. It's not today. It's not today. Not today. It's not a family business, Jare. Human beings under this criminal APCO. Then to finish everybody finally, right? To show to you that they have legalized terrorism. They started celebrating the graduation of repentant terrorists. And people were like, yes, is the United Nations law on war criminal. War, what do they call them? Prisoner of war. It's a prisoner of war. So once you're a prisoner of war, it's a United Nations. This APCO to pardon terrorists. And here we are. We are back to it again. 80 people kidnapped. 134 people killed. And if you have heard that the Nigeria economy tumbled and collapsed completely, it is because of this terrorist and terrorism. Farmers have been beheaded, slaughtered in their thousands. Farms and all of that. People have been, you know what I mean? Like communities, towns and villages in their thousands are being controlled by these terrorists who are no longer part of Nigeria. There are many ungoverned places in northern Nigeria today that you can even imagine. But the person who is the president of Nigeria, supposedly, who is also a Fulani Muslim from the same Katsina, northern Nigeria, right? Doesn't give a damn. So another half-dead man is coming on, and they're going to tell you, see, the terrorism starts on there from him. Is it Ifnubu that started terrorism? I mean, well, all of you are making mouth now. When Bokwari was there, can't you ask him? That's what you're going to be dealing with too. But again, I will continue to wish you what you wish yourself. So, bless this guy.
On in our community, Ikobi community and a host of other community have been raised as a result of this. Pregnant women, adult, young and old, people are butchered in their various homes. People have been displaced from their ancestral homes. And there is no way that you can come to understand of this. We need peace. We want normalcy to be returned to our various homes. People have been displaced. It is not by shooting or gun or soldiers or maybe trying to kill people that will return peace. What we need is peace. We need drastic government intervention more than this. There is no road to any Ikobi community. Other Ugobi and other places, the king have been killed as a result of this, and the soldiers are shooting gun on the youth. What do they expect us to do? There is no school as we speak. SS3, there is no place. Ikobi community, there is no exam center for the SS3 examination center. People have been displaced. Ugobi community or Legogba, in Yapo and the host of others. Look at the scores of people that were killed in Ombogidi recently, and there is no place. My mother was sitting in the compound. She was killed as a result of this. My documents and houses were razed. And people are saying that they are going to shoot. We need peace. If they want us to have a very drastic understanding with each other, they should call them so that people can know what they are discussing. We want them to go away from our town. So what we need is peace. Even though if this thing will take of Samuel Oton, Your Excellency to come down to the community. It could be there is no peace. We don't have any peace at all. As we speak, I personally go down to my community yesterday. I trek on my barefoot from Ikobi down to Olegogba. I wept. Pregnant women were raised. People were scattered from home. My documents were taken, sir. Go to Ikobi, you cannot go any away from here. It's just a step from here to Naka. There is no any other community that will stay in the village. Ikobi is not home. Ikobi as big as it is, there is no peace in the community. Look at the scores of people killed. Look at the pictures and you see the evidence of it at all. What are we expecting? It is not by shooting or soldier that we are going to have peace.
Could you tell us why the soldiers were shooting? When they came here, what exactly did they tell you people before they started shooting?
We expect them to go, not to come here and begin to shoot gun. What we expect from the soldier is to talk with peace. What the government sent them to come here is not by what to come and shoot.
That is what life is for millions of people scattered in thousands of communities all over the middle belt part of Nigeria and some part of, and then call northern part of Nigeria too. That is what life is for those who are able to actually tell you their stories. Somebody said that, but they voted for APC in Benue. I don't want to judge them by that. That doesn't mean that they deserve to be killed. Doesn't mean that they deserve to be slaughtered like that. Okay? Just same thing everywhere. You get what I mean? Nobody deserves to be violently killed this way in their own country. And no single arrest, no single fight back. So the pattern is that, once they attack them and the young people gather together and decide to go after the Fulani terrorists, the soldiers will come and they'll start shooting at the young people in that community or start arresting them. That's their own way of calming the situation. So they can go back and start counting their losses. You know what I mean now? It's so unfortunate. And let me tell you something. Since APC, Egbe came in, there are people of that middle belt. They have been those who have been like, they are like the shield for the people of down south proper. Is when they finally broke through them from Taraba to Kogi to Benue to Niger and to all these places, including Kwara. When they finally managed to break through that belt, look at us in the down south. Look at us in the east and every other places there, yeah, where we're now having these skirmishes of these Fulani terrorists. The same, what they haven't done in southern Nigeria is to kidnap people en masse. They have kidnapped a whole bus, traveler bus, okay? They have kidnapped the whole family. They have done that repeatedly. They have kidnapped a bunch of people. People who are being their victims down south, the victims of the Fulani terrorists, okay, in the southern part of Nigeria. They said that when they were from the places and the camps that they have built in those forests, okay, when they were taken to those camps, they saw other people there. We're talking about other people that were tied down like ram or goats, right, waiting to be slaughtered. They are waiting for their family members to pay their ransom, okay? Some will be like, oh, some people left us there. Some people die. They dug ground there and they buried them there. You know, all these experiences are so relative to what we have actually been hearing and reported and recorded, documented from all the Fulani terrorism up north, including middle belt of Nigeria. So we are now experiencing them in the deeper southwest as well as deeper southeast, including Niger Delta. Maybe saying a Kriko, you get. They are doing same there right now, but they are like skirmishes. What they haven't done is to walk into a school and just spark school children, or walk into a working place or an office and just spark everybody, or stop people on the motorway, okay, and march them into the forest. That's the only thing they haven't really done here in the western part of Nigeria. But up north, the middle belt have been those who have been holding back. Bodies and graveyard after graveyard, graveyards after graveyard, mass graves scattered everywhere across the middle belt part of Nigeria. So when the people stand up to fight back, okay, then the military will show up. The APC, Egbe's government, this Buhari's government, they announced a disarmament. Everybody with any gun should submit them to the nearest at the nearest police station. Do you know that owning a gun in Nigeria today, okay, is actually like in their book, in this terrorist book, as a Nigerian in Nigeria with your license and all that, if they know that you have a gun in this particular community and they know that you can use your gun, or you always use your gun, especially your personality, knowing that you don't take shit. If they come closer to you, you open fire. There are people like that across Nigeria, especially southern Nigeria. Now, you know what they have done? For those who haven't returned their guns, some of you are watching me right now. Maybe you have your guns with your license and all that. If they come closer, you use them. Some of you have already been profiled, where you are, what kind of gun you have, and the rest of that. If they sense that you are going to indeed pose a threat in defending yourself or defending your community with that gun, they will pile up some funny case against you and they will take you. They will accuse you of gun running. They will do everything and lock you away. If you don't believe that, there are already people that they have done that to. You just haven't seen much of their stories, have you? They ask people to surrender all of their weapons in Nigeria. Before this whole insecurity escalated, they said submit your weapons to the nearest police station. People were submitting their weapons. Not everyone anyway, because Nigeria is still ranked as one of the country with the highest small arms proliferation. Something like, you can see guns everywhere still. But once they know you do, right, all they have to do is to just bring up a trump up charges and they lock you away in their world. Anyway, that is APC. That is what they have done to the people. They have made people less concerned. Sympathy is not there anymore. Empathy is not there anymore. Humanity is not really there anymore. Even if you are dying in the hand of the terrorists, they will still mock you. That's how much destruction APC brought. Yeah? But they are not actually stopping. They are not slowing down. Yesterday, the whole drama everywhere. Hang on. In 2019, somebody said that they are like Southern Kaduna people. They've had enough. That was the first time of El Rufaya that they were going to fight to finish. Okay, they will reject Muslim ticket. Blah 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 blah. In Kaduna. So they now said some observers are coming to observe elections. I'm saying this now because I am just moving on to the part of being called fascist again. How dangerous and dishonest Wole Soyinka is. These are his friends, unfortunately. Okay? Baba Soyinka that once told people that if Nigeria continued the way Nigeria was going under Abacha, he foresaw armed struggle in Nigeria, which came to pass. Also, even before then, Baba was so rugged when he was younger that when an election was conducted at the Western region then, and the premier, S.L. Akintola, was considered to have rigged himself back again. And guess what? This lone man, Wole Soyinka, walked straight into NBC, right, studio, and he just handed them a tape like a revolutionary tape broadcast that he recorded, okay, and he gave it to them. Instead of broadcasting the speech of the premier, it's like instead of broadcasting the speech of the prime minister or the president of Yoruba land, Yoruba nation, right, of the Western region, somebody would just rigged himself back in. This is part of what actually led to the words here and the rest of those who, you know what I mean? So, said that not led to it, aftermath, I would say. It was 1965, I believe. So he was so pissed as a young man. He was so angry, so mad, right? That he pulled a gun on the head of a, operator in what was supposed to be like a regional radio house. He pulled a gun and he said, remove that tape and play this one. So the entire region, they were waiting for the broadcast of the re-elected premier, only for them to be hearing the jingles of Wole Soyinka. He pulled that and he walked out and they never saw him again. So it was through the description of the engineer who took that tape under the gun, you know what I mean, that described him and eventually led to his, to him being declared wanted and all that anyway. But Baba is now old now. He's now talking about young people who are rejecting the status quo in Nigeria, who are rejecting the old order. Okay? Baba Soyinka is now talking to those who have not put any gun on anybody. They have not held anybody's cloth. They have not fought anybody physically. They haven't attacked anybody. And they haven't even threatened anybody. Sure you get. And Baba said that they are becoming fascist. Fascist. Now, the people that have the capacity to plan to go and take over the political party of others, right? Maybe they are not fascists. But you see this El Rufai in 2019, because of the people of Kaduna fighting back, and he wanted this re-election, damn the Muslim Christian ticket and death once and for all. Yeah, he said if any observer come to Kaduna to come and poke nose anyhow, they will leave Nigeria in body bags. These are the people that will sit on the same table with Wale Soyinka talking about nation building, progressive this and that. And some people actually want you to keep clapping. I think that's what they are missing with this generation. Okay? That disconnection is what they are missing.
Interference, where countries intervene militarily. We've done that in Sierra Leone, in Liberia, but we only did so because we had the international community actually appealing to Nigeria to go in and restore order in that place. And it cost us a lot of money and lives, and we never got anything for it. We did it out of good neighborliness. Okay, those that are calling for anyone to come and intervene in Nigeria, we are waiting for the person that will come and intervene. They will go back in body bags. Okay. Because nobody will come to Nigeria and tell us how to run our country. We've got that independence, and we are trying to run our country as decently as possible. And we know the history of those countries that are trying to teach us these things. We have read their history. We also know at all stages of development, they went through these challenges. So please, let's work together. Let's advise one another, but don't lecture us.
All right. We have callers already on the line.
The harmful interference.
Will go back in body bags because nobody teach them or tell them how to run their democracy or how to do their thing and all of that stuff. That's the El Rufai. So, replying, Confessor Wale Soyinka, this person.
You know, there's something about the universe that's absolutely exciting and interesting. The first time we really had a debate on this, it was with you on air. I remember I used the word that the obedience are not unruly. They may be fierce, but not rude. And interestingly, we're back on it. Beautifully, let me say, that if in this contestation, the entire political process, if there is any movement that has been very civil, it's the obedient movement. And I'll tell you why. We have not deployed ethnicity or religion in our debate and contestation. Those who tend to, or who are struggling effusively to brand us as unruly, are the ones who have threatened a particular ethnicity. They are the ones who do ethnic profiling. They are the ones who have divided and polarized our country. We are absolutely civil. And I'll tell you, when I saw that interview by my boy and mentor, and I say this with all sense of respect, I tell people that I may disagree with you on certain score, but it doesn't change what I feel about you. I listened to that interview by the great Nobel laureate, Professor Wale Soyinka, and I wept for 3 reasons, and I'm going to put it out before Nigerians. My boy and mentor left issues about ethnic profiling, the killing of people and voter suppression in Lagos, and dwelt chiefly on Dati's comment about those who are interested in swearing a man whose mandate perhaps and the declaration of his election, his victory, does not tally with the provisions of our law as a problem. I felt very deeply offended. Then the second one, instead of talking about how those who were declared winners have not stopped the ethnic profiling, he called Dati and his statements fascist. I felt very strange about it. Then I asked, is the man dead? Because he wrote a book long time ago, The Man Died in Him, Who Keeps Quiet in Times of Moral Crisis. I asked that question, and I'm asking that question again with all sense of humility. Let me tell you, in 2014, 2015, I was the DG Change Ambassadors of Nigeria, one of the campaign arms of President Muhammadu Buhari. In 2014, 2015, the APC, which is presently in power, said worse things than Dati has said. Indeed, my very senior colleague and the substantive Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria today said that the APC was going to form a parallel government if the PDP were to be declared winners. Some others went as far as saying that it clearly not like that democracy will die should the PDP be declared winners. And I wonder why we have all forgotten all that. And clearly we have the worst electoral larceny in our country's history. Clearly, we have the worst electoral fraud in our country's history. Do you know what happened on the 25th of February and what happened on the 18th of March? Beatified Iwu's 2007 elections. That was an election that Yar'Adua openly admitted that was largely flawed. But that election comes to excellence when you juxtapose it with what happened on the February 25th and March the 18th. So why won't you beat a child and you refuse us the right to cry? You have asked us to go to court and we have gone to court and you're uneasy? What do they want?
That's a big question, isn't it? What exactly do they want? Why are they gaslighting us? Why do they want to take over our party? Why do they want us to withdraw our cases? And so many questions. Why are they calling us fascists? We haven't attacked anyone. We haven't threatened anybody. We haven't profiled anyone. Where is this coming from? Anyway, we know where. So when the story of new chairman for the Labour Party popped up, I mean, it's not hard. You could do some quick digging. Connect them from here to here. One court here to another court there. What's the target? Who could be? What's the end goal? Who could be those behind it? So it's not hard. It's Nigeria. So what happened? Ogun State, there is a Labour Party in Ogun State. It is for Jeun. It's not to win any election. It's just some level of a negotiation platform. Two fraudsters have been running it. One is called Ogini. I think the other is called Arabambi. If you enter their trap, Otilo, politically, ask those who have crossed their path. They are so good in the game that they have judges, they have lawyers, they have people. They can go to Abakaliki to go and get a court injunction for a case that they want to remove a chairman of somebody in Ekiti. And they will get it. They will get it to the point that they will get it from appeal court. They will get it from the Supreme Court. Depends on what is the end goal. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to use this chance to at least kind of see them talk about what happened between them. Okay? And then, as fanciful as convincing this might sound to you, there is more you would need to know. Okay? There is no, what do you call it? I mean, there is no dancer without the drummer. So if you see a dancer and you can't see the drummer, yeah, the drummer might be somewhere very close. Okay? Arabambi or Guinea, I think. Right. They took the Labour Party leadership. They took it to court for forgery. According to them, during the INEC submission registration of candidates, the moment Obi joined Labour Party, there are odds of other people who also joined. So when they were joining Labour Party, they were joining to contest and run for office. So it was now the opportunity for the likes of Ogini and other state excos of Labour Party across Nigeria who have been waiting for them to chop. Unfortunately, now from Abuja they declared the name of those who are going to contest for any election under Labour Party. So remember, everybody is cutting his own deal here and there. Okay? That didn't go down well with a lot of them. In fact, that made them feel like those ones who are in Abuja National Exco of Labour Party working with Obi must have given them some certain money, huge money, for them to give him that leverage. So what did they do? They took one of the states where their Labour Party chairman, Julius Abure, where he gave somebody waiver to contest for governor. Now, they now took that to court because they said they already have a governorship candidate. But the Abuja Exco, they override them. So they now took them to court. Listen to this. So when they took the case to court, the court now said Abure should put the original name as the governorship candidate. Abure appealed the judgment. Election is still ongoing. The candidate is campaigning. So according to this guy, when they got to appeal court, they lost. Just one single governorship candidate issue. Wait for it. So they went to Supreme Court. When they got to Supreme Court, Abure national leadership, they lost again. What were they asking them to do? Internal crisis. So they're asking them to replace the name of the person Abure put and gave to INEC as candidate of Labour Party for governorship this. Replace the name with this name. This is the name that must be the candidate. That's internal, Abi. I think that was where Dakwa Abiodun saw a chance. What's the connection? Some said, Mayegun, what is the connection between this man and Tinubu? Not be everything Tinubu. And I say, look, God. You see, you may think you are smart, but if you are not politically smart, you will remain the mumu that can easily sit down and be like, wow. No. You don't do like Siren. If you are politically smart, I'm giving you the connection now. Relax. Just relax. If you remember, I told you that the smaller parties in Nigeria during elections, they are just businessmen, appendages of the main bigger parties in Nigeria. If you enter their trap, you must have so much money to run your own campaign yourself, not through them, to win election. If you get what I mean, you have to buy them from ward level to state level if you want to win any election, or else you must have so much money to bypass them. Give them some money, bypass them, and run your things on your own, or else you are done for. Last minute, they will just take everything to the person they have been keeping it for, the incumbent or the highest payer in another party. Why they were in court challenging their national leadership, of imposing a candidate on them, they were in bed with the Ogun State APC governor. Okay? In fact, because he paid well, remember, our Labour Party has governorship candidate in Ogun State. That guy on the right is the Ogeni. Is the Arabambi. Okay? They have governorship candidate too. But 9 minutes, when this guy finally paid the balance, they had to publicly come out and say, we are now endorsing him. They know the many. Labour Party, if you go to Ogun State right now, you only see maybe about 4 executives out of 17 legally supposed party escorts, okay? About 17. But if you go to Ogun State now, they can bring anybody together if they want to collect money from you. They will bring escort, but this is the guy running it. It's just a transit, sort of a fraudulent scheme, So they had to come out and endorse the current government. Do you get that now? Now, as this was going on before elections, okay, Ogun State, right? They were in court. Now, I want you to listen to these 2 clips. The credit for these clips goes to Channels Television, okay? I hope they won't bite me for this. But I can deal with that. For the purpose of this chat, they say this is the genesis of the crisis in Labour Party. That when they now said that Abure failed to follow that court judgment. Okay, they now sue Abure. They said they told him to resign, and also they now charge him for forgery. They now realize that